Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this press conference with EVP Dombrovskis and Commissioner Wojciechowski. Today, we will present the results of a study on the cumulative effects of 12 free trade agreements on the agri-food sector. So, without further ado, I will give the floor to the EVP to give the first introductory remarks.
So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here today with Commissioner Wojciechowski to present a new study on the positive impact of EU trade policy on our agriculture and food sectors. It is clear that the Commission efforts to open up new export opportunities are paying off for EU agri-food sector. The study highlights in a very concrete way the value of our trade agenda, both today and for the coming decade. There are two sides of this success story. On the one hand, the consistent safety and reliability of EU food production standards means that our high-quality food and drink products are highly sought after worldwide. And on another hand, our global network of strong and mutually beneficial trade agreements with this we have a first trade platform for growing the exports of these products. Those two factors have driven consistent growth of EU food and drink exports in recent years. In 2019, total EU agri-food exports exceeded 150 billion euros. That's 23% higher than 5 years before. Looking in the future, we believe that we continue this positive trend in many areas. To give you an idea, beef and veal consumption in the EU is expected to decline by 7% between now and 2030. At the same period, beef and veal exports are projected to increase by 11%. For sugar, a 6% decline in EU consumption will be accompanied by a 60% increase in exports. There are also many other opportunities. We are increasing the focus on sustainable and climate-friendly production in line with the farm-to-fork strategy, and this has a potential to create new export opportunities. There is a growing consumer demand worldwide for this type of products, and we are very well placed to meet this demand. Increasing exports are even more important given that EU market offers limited growth in the next decade. Therefore, the outlook is clear. We must promote EU agri-food exports, and we will achieve this with implementation of trade deals that open up markets, by breaking down barriers in non-EU countries, and by protecting the names of traditional high-quality EU products, so also known as geographic indications. During the first 10 months of 2020, the EU27 had the highest agri-trade surplus ever, over 50 billion euros. But our trade agenda goes much further than this. We're also very mindful of vulnerable sectors, and we put immense efforts into protecting those. In our trade agreements, we put strict limits on imports to the EU with lower duty rates. We have mechanisms in place to protect EU farmers from sudden surges on imports as well as dumping. Of course, some sectors face greater challenges than others. But it is essential that any assessment takes into account a total trade balance of our network of agreements. This is the only way to have a clear and impartial picture. Going forward, we are taking even more strong steps to enforce the trade interests of our farmers. We have recently appointed a Chief Trade Enforcement Officer whose top priority is to enforce trade rules, be it fighting for more exports, or defending against undue or illegal imports. In this respect, we are confident that our farmers can gain even more value from our global network of trade deals, both in the offensive and defensive side. Finally, let me remind me that the Commission will in February publish our communication on new medium-term strategy for EU trade policy. This will be very important for our shared trade agenda, both internally and externally. I'm pleased to say that some 60 agri-food stakeholders submitted suggestions for our future strategy, with overwhelming support for maintaining an open trade policy. Our new roadmap will continue to make sure that EU trade policy delivers the best possible outcome for our farmers. So, to conclude, I remain convinced that open and dynamic trade policy is vital for future development of EU agri-food sector, and this study supports this perspective. Thank you very much, and I now hand over to Commissioner Wojciechowski.